I'm Luke Mathews. I've gone to Lake Country since kindergarten. I've grown up surrounded by God. I've grown up surrounded by the Word, and it's just ever since I was little, my parents have forced me to go to church, and it's just always been to the side. I've always just kept it to the side. It's just been something that was there, and I never really knew what it was to really have a relationship with God. I accepted God when I was around 6, but I never really knew what it meant. I never transitioned from it being my parents' faith to my faith. Everything was fine and everything was normal until about high school. I've always just gone to church and then gone home and nothing really changed. And then it got to high school. So then I started hanging out with the juniors and seniors, and they weren't trying to head in the same direction in life as I was. Ever since I've grown up as a little kid, my parents have always told me this quote, and I never really carried any weight with me, but they'd always say, "You show me your friends and I'll show you your future." But I've never really understood that until I actually lived that out and walked that out, until I had those friends and was headed in the wrong direction in life. And they just started influencing me in bad ways and making me do things that I normally wouldn't do. And I knew what was right because I grew up in church and I knew what to do, but I just wasn't doing it. So I was just running, and I just kept running away from God. And I was placing all of my happiness, all of me in these worldly things, and it was just falling up short. And then slowly, through the mercy and grace of God, he started removing these people from my life, and then it all started around the junior retreat. And I was just sitting there, and I was just in tears, and I was sitting there crying, and I was just I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person who I've become. It's time for me to change. And then ever since then, it's really that's where it all started, and that's where I started to become the person who I am today. And it wasn't all easy after that. I still struggled. I'd go a couple weeks good, and then I'd mess up every once in a while, and then I'd go back, because the good thing about Lake Country and growing up in church is it built my foundation, and that's built my foundation and built who I was. So even if I did mess up, or when I did mess up, I knew where to turn to and I knew where to run back to, because that was my foundation. And now that I'm surrounded with the right people and surrounded with the right friends, where I'm going in Christ and for Christ. And it's just so important to have the right people, the right friends in your life, because they carry more impact with you than you even want to admit to yourself. And it's just when you're surrounded with the right people, the decisions and the things you make are just so important. I'm Luke Mathews, and I have Eagle DNA.